Hi, we are in the Gold Museum in Pasto City, and we are from the SENA institution. We're going to show you a tour to the Gold Museum, and let's continue. Hello, my name is Natalia Garcia. I'm going to be your tour guide for the Gold Museum, and this is our tourist. What is your name and where are you from?
My name is Salman Karim. I'm from California in the United States.
Okay, welcome to the Gold Museum. So let's start with this.
My name is SONIA SANCHEZ. I'm a tour guide from SENA.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Today we are going to know the Museum of Gold. This museum was created with three main objectives. One is to protect all the crafts that we are going to see. The second is to broadcast the information that people have found among the times. And the third is to investigate what all of these crafts mean. Because, for example, if you see this vessel, neither you, neither me know what it means.
I have no idea.
Neither do I. But we can maybe suppose that it is a whole world, because it has, if you can see, it has three little men with a vessel on their heads, and maybe it's the world. And what does this mean? We don't know. These two vessels were found 2,000 years ago, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. Come on over, please. Let me show you something. Pre-Hispanic societies of Nariño were found mainly in these two places. This is Colombia and this is Ecuador. Here.
Okay. So they share everything.
They share everything. This culture and these cultures are both from Colombia and from Ecuador. Excuse me. First one is we are going to study the people from the coast. They were found, they existed from the year, excuse me, I don't remember. Let me see the timeline. From 500 before Christ to 500 Anno Domini AD. These people were sailors, they were farmers, and they were traders. These people were farmers mainly because of the richness of the land.
Because of the volcanoes, or?
Because of the volcanoes. When a volcano makes an eruption, the materials it exposes, put away is very makes the land very fertile.
Okay.
These two people were not so different, because we have found that they shared crafts and they shared food.
So they were like trading.
Yes, they were trading. As you can see in these two images, this is the coast, and this is the.
Is this La Cocha?
This is La Cocha. These two cultures were called Tumaco, La Tolita. They were here, and these were. We have found that they were. They were called. Excuse me. They were called. No, they. We had a lot of cultures in the how do you say, mountains. But the two main cultures are Pastos and Quillacingas. In this map we can find Pastos over here and Quillacingas over here. There is an important river, Guaitara River.
Okay.
Guaitara River is born in Ecuador,
Okay.
and it's called Carchi River.
Carchi River.
But when we enter at Colombia, it's called Guaitara River.
Okay.
This river is very important for these cultures, Pastos and Quillacingas. As I said, there were more cultures, but the two main are Pastos and Quillacingas. Now let's see this. As we can see in this timeline, the end of the culture of the coast was in 500 AD.
And why? Do we know what happened?
That's a good question because nobody knows why.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Maybe the caciques fight,
Maybe.
or
War.
we don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe because of the volcano, or maybe because of an illness, a pandemic, or something like that. And people from the mountains were from 500 AD to 1600 BC. What I have just told you is about this period, only this period.
Okay.
So we are going to see these vessels, these crabs. Let me show you. These three cultures are different in one thing. As you can see, this is Piartal culture, the way they use the colors.
Okay. Lots of brown and black. Okay.
Several colors, as you can see. This is Tusa style, only with two colors, red and cream.
Cream. Okay.
And this is Capuli style. They only used
One
black and red.
Okay.
And that's all for now. Let's keep on walking through the museum.
Okay, we're gonna continue with this section of the museum. What is it called? Relations with the nature. So in this section we're gonna see different relationships that these cultures has with the animals, with the nature, and how they represented in different of their handicrafts. What we're gonna see. So this part you can see these figures that the Incas mostly used to make, like this is called the petroglyphos in the rocks. And
What is this supposed to? What is the significance of this? What does it mean?
this means like the
spiral
universe,
shape.
like kind of the universe.
Okay.
Here we can see these handicrafts that they used to make with the deformed cranium, how you can see, and this symbolize the status.
Okay.
So it means like more smarter, like
So
it represents.
if someone has a deformity or something.
Yeah, in their culture they thought they were more smart,
Okay.
or they had more status, and yeah, so
Like they're smarter or something.
exactly.
Okay.
And here you can see more like how they represent the human body in their handicraft. Here in the gold.
It's humans and animals together.
Exactly. And this is how they used to, how do you say, cazar? How do you say, hunting? Yeah, they used to hunt the animals, and their tools, they used to do it. So here you can see how they make
So
these
this is
tools.
for like cooking. with
This is
fire
for
and stuff.
cooking, and this is for hunting the animals. And here you can see really representative how they used to make, for example,
It's
like the
pastel.
exactly. They used to make ají, for example, here the pepper.
Ají is from Colombia, or?
Yeah, I mean the pepper. I mean.
Okay. And what did they use these for? Is this for like music?
Music.
Okay.
Called.
The weaving industry. Nariño is one of the areas of Colombia where pre-Hispanic textiles has been preserved best. Thanks to this, it is known that societies on the high plain became highly specialized in the production of textiles and basketwork. Weavers used a wide range of techniques and materials like cotton, wanga, and plants like crique and indigo. Also, in their crafts, they use different kind of species of animals, like various species of monkeys, like now you can see, such as the ninth monkey and the spider monkey, appear frequently on objects made by groups from the highlands. These groups also dissipate signals on pottery, with even the internal structure of the shell being copied. Animal species from different ecosystems can be recognized in pottery, metalwork, and lignite artifacts from the Nariño High Plain. Birds were their favorite images. Potters from the coast model the morphological characteristics of animal species in detail. Bush dogs can be identified as well as various birds, fish, and lizards. Because is the nature the greater hunter?
Mixes with the animals. How they use the different kind of animals, how they were in these regions, in this part of Nariño, so how they represented in their culture and their figures and everything.
Hi, my name is José Luis INSUASTY, I'm a tour guide from SENA. We are going to talk about mining and metalworking tradition in Nariño.
Mining and metalworking tradition in Nariño. The oldest evidence of working with metal in South America has been found in the central Andes of Peru and dates from 2000 BC. At his knowledge spread, it reaches the southern part of Colombia Pacific region, where archaeologists have excavated the first metal offense produced in Colombia, which date from around 500 BC. The pre-Hispanic societies that inhabited the area around what is today the frontier between Colombia and Ecuador, exploiting the rare metal deposited in their rivers and developed important regional metallurgical traditions. On the Pacific coast, they work in native gold and platinum as in hammering, embossing, granulation, and sintering techniques to create delicate ornaments. On Nariño mountain range, on the other hand, metal means favor gold and copper alloys. Now is chavanga, and also alloys of silver and copper. They were killed in finished techniques with which the producer find open world and contestation colors and texture of objects that were assessed by different social groups. Minerals and metalmines, who transformed the natural resources from their specialist work, also took part in creating material and symbolic universes that permeate the social organization of their communities. The pre-Hispanic inhabitants of Nariño explored their land and identified numerous sources of native metals and metal-bearing minerals. Faced with a wide range of resources, they chose certain minerals rather than others. They are two different geological sources of the gold in the Nariño landscape: veins, which are sheets of crystallization, native walls in rocks, and alluvial deposits, which are formed as a result of watering in these veins. Flakes of gold that have believed of travel down rivers and because and their weight are dispositive on the bands, where they are joined by platinum nuggets. Using artisanal methods, pre-Hispanic minerals extract gold and platinum only from alluvial deposits of rivers flowing down to the Pacific. Copper was probably obtained through the reductions of copper ores. In the southwestern part of the range there are sources of chalcopyrite, malachite, and azurite that coal had been mined. Silver was perhaps acquired by battering with peoples in the south. The local miners from Barbacoa still. Today, miners from Barbacoas or the Pacific coast describe how, in the course of their spare their work, a gold flakes a nugget journeys from its geological source in the rivers until it eventually reaches the metalsmith's hands.
This is FABIAN PANTOJA, and a tour guide from SENA.
Geometric art. Geometric is a characteristic iconographic feature of archaeological material from the high plains of Nariño and GARCIA. Symmetry played a vital role in the set of visual expressions. Different symmetrical patterns were achieved by moving a basic shape or group of shapes on a plane. The type of symmetry used most commonly in this region was isometric, which is the repetition of shapes through rigid movements, reflections, rotations, and translations. Using a combination of these movements, pre-Hispanic artists created a visual language full of meanings.
Garcia. I am tour guide from SENA. Rituals and ceremonies, ritual activities essential of the life mountains. Material, cultural, clearly illustrated the importance of ceremonies that involved consuming and the Johans intoxicating, very gained and the word there was music and dancing iconography and Philadelphia for southern part of the High Plain suggests that where do group of ritual specialists, shamanic symbol like the consuming the coca leaves, a predominant object in the Capuli style, while Philadelphia reliant on the celebration and the festivities are notable features and the PR-style objects of the Pacific Coast during Tumaco, La Tolita tradition ritual were events that helped consolidate the major ceremonial center. The chieftain status was on the walls attract following to sacred were offering with the made to those including breaking pottery figures. A symbol the power on the Andean hand pain. The societies that live on the hand pain were extremely hierarchical. The chieftain were the leading figures in the Yerbachi, Yusai, colorful apparel and metal ornaments, and the flauta power. The political and religious elite legitimated the high position by controlling ritual resource and the access prestige good. Clothes were important while differentiating between social groups. The big investing in the term of the work involved in the making them from obtain and the spinning the fiber and the weaving complex design mean of the great value of the provider. Women and the men played different roles, power sceneries of the work prestige of the associate of the gender with the someone man. The men chief the coca of Capuli potentially appeared on the sitting a small bench with our shamanic symbol and meditation and communication with the spiritual world. The government on the floor occasionally coca parties in rituals of the cult transforms themselves by means of complex of the clay ostentable crowns, characters this of jaguar and anthropomorphized animals with diadem and the earring and notable features of the figure. The variety of stamp and rolled with elaborate abstract design illustrate the importance of body point in the construction in identify the people of the coast. Whistles and the blues ran during ceremonies Pacific Coast. Blues are the cover made from different metal and from among of the metal work producing the hand paint. The sound of numerous bells made different metal of the maracas of the idiophone accompanying the festival and the ritual and the hand playing on the mountain. Photos of trumpets made from silk high symbol value high playing because they come from because of the variety sounds they produce depending of the type of the size. The ocarinas that were played on the mountains produce variety tones, rhythmic with also melodies, where nice composed musician, necessis special scale to play today's instruments. Funerality practice on the high Spain. Around the mountain region, predominant funeral practice devoted that done with side chamber till the up 40 meters deep. Mouse de Burnian and the Tumaco, La Tolita tradition of the Pacific coast, where around the artificial mound with do on the mud high. Parts of the bodies collectively burial on the commonly found in the Lola Pajarito, in the Tolila life.
Well, hi, my name is Juan Diego and I'm a tour guide of SENA. Well, now we are going to talk about the cultural transformation and continues after the 15th centuries. After, but there isn't documents, or we can't be very certain if they conquest the region more further in the the Rumicacas Bridge.
So we don't know what happened.
Well, in this part, they after conquest the region near to them to the Quito in the mountains, they created more ways. The incursion in this area or this land connect groups living in the mountains with the Taiwan Yuzu and forced world communities to migrate. They also formed new trade networks via the Chapacnan or Inca Road. The Inca invasion were followed by those of the Spanish Empire in 1536, when Sebastian de Belalcázar and his troops set out from the Quito and headed northlands to explore to found villages and cities. Their social organization, territories, and belief systems, some languages and traditions disappeared, while others were transformed and still exist today. Well, this is a little of this region. So thank you very much.
Thank you for being in this tour. We are so happy to have you in the tour. And this is the Gold Museum, and thank you so much.